A big show today, a lot of ground to cover that includes wild finishes, big crashes, one driver telling boo birds to suck it, and we'll sprinkle in some silly season updates and a lot more. Let's go. It's Sunday, September 21st. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. If you're a Kubota equipment owner now or you plan to be in the future, then you're going to need the myKubota app. It's an essential tool for managing your equipment efficiently and effectively. They've got real-time monitoring in there, maintenance reminders, diagnostic alerts. myKubota streamlines operations and helps you prevent breakdowns. You can also access helpful Kubota resources such as maintenance schedules and manuals. You can investigate fault codes. You can get help with step-by-step guides and watch video resources to get the most out of your Kubota machine. And if you need parts or service, you can quickly locate the nearest dealer to your current location. Doesn't matter whether you do construction, maybe you have a big ag operation, or you use Kubota stuff around your house. Take control of your equipment and streamline your workflow today. Download the app and experience the difference. You can find myKubota in the Google Play or Apple App Stores. You can click the links below in the video description on YouTube, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. The closest finish of the weekend award definitely goes to the World of Outlaws sprint cars at Tulare for the Dennis Roth Classic. It seemed at one point in that feature that a Corey Day victory was just inevitable, but a busted steering box ruined that. On a lap 19 restart, pole sitter Caleb Montgomery was able to get the lead back from Day, and the two made contact down the backstretch, banging wheels. Day was out front then into turn 3, and Montgomery ended up running over the back of the car and coming to a stop, which then caused another caution. Montgomery was done for the night with damage, and Day ended up in the work area to try to fix that steering box, but they never returned. It seemed initially there like maybe things had gotten ugly between the two drivers, but the busted steering box really explains a lot of what went down. The contact down the backstretch was weird, with Day kind of coming up the racetrack, and then it was Montgomery trying to catch him, trying to spin him into turn 3. It was very difficult there to try to understand, but like I said, the steering box helps kind of make all of that make sense. Day shared to social media afterwards, quote, broke a steering box about 3 laps before that last caution tonight. Could still turn right, but nothing to the left. Was hoping I could limp it around the bottom for the rest of the race, but was way worse when I took back off after the restart, unquote. And it's clear now, like I said, why things played out the way they did. With Day and Montgomery both done, that handed the race lead to David Gravel. Spencer Bayston, though, was right behind in the Tarleton 21, and he nearly stole the $83,000 check right at the line. The two ended up in a drag race back to the checkered. Gravel just nipped Bayston by 21 thousandths of a second. Buddy Kofoid ended up third, with Carson Macedo and Donny Schatz the rest of the top 5. The top 5 for Schatz was his first with the series since August 1st and just his 9th of the season. This was Schatz's final race in that Works Limited ride, and we found out late last week he'll finish the season in a new deal that is a partnership between Sides Motorsports and the JVI Group. The guys at the JVI Group also helping put together this Works Limited deal. This will ensure Schatz runs the rest of the Outlaw slate as we wait on his plans for 2026. I think he's going to be in a good place here to secure 6th in the Outlaw standings come World Finals. Unfortunately, though, he leaves the West Coast still winless on the season. The last time Donny Schatz was winless during an entire season with the Outlaws was his first year full-time back in 1997. Back to David Gravel. He continues to get boos wherever he goes, including in Victory Lane at Tulare while he's getting interviewed. His response to the reaction was, quote, all these people booing, they can suck it for sure, unquote. As we've talked about a few times this season, Gravel has become a villain, and he's not trying to fight it. He's certainly just playing into it all the time. Spencer Bayston will now head home and try to figure out what's next for his career. I did hear a few weeks ago he could be back with Paul Silva for Trophy Cup coming up in October, but his name hasn't been a prevalent one in silly season chatter. Since losing the Myers 14 ride after the Knoxville Nationals, he's made 9 410 starts out west. That's included 7 top 7 finishes and 2 second-place runs, both at Tulare. He's definitely been driving like a guy with his career on the line, but I don't know where he goes next. The Outlaws trek back east now with Sheldon Hudenshield's race at Millstream on Friday and a trip to Sharon Speedway on Saturday. Things were wild at Knoxville as well with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series in Iowa for the Late Model Knoxville Nationals. Thursday's feature was rain shortened, and wet weather meant a lightning fast track all night long and lots of attrition. And that included flips for both Hudson O'Neal and Carson Ferguson. Obviously, we're not, we've certainly seen plenty of flips over the years at Knoxville, but those are usually sprint cars, not late models. Huddy's car absolutely destroyed in that gnarly crash, and not one you see often with a late model. Both drivers, O'Neal and Ferguson, were okay though and continued to race the rest of the weekend. Garrett Alberson and Devin Moran took the 2 prelim wins, and then last night in the finale we had 8 lead changes among 3 drivers, and a hard-charging Hudson O'Neal bouncing back from that ugly crash and mechanical issues on Friday to win his first career late model Knoxville Nationals. He topped Ricky Thornton Jr. and Devin Moran at the end of that one. O'Neal's charge from 15th was worth nearly $80,000. The driver that led the most laps on the night was Jonathan Davenport, but he bowed out early with mechanical issues. He told Flow Racing the engine was lying down at the end of his run. We didn't have any last-minute heroics for guys to get into the championship four. Remember, we were kind of talking about whether Alberson or Brandon Shepard had a shot, but headed to Brownstown on Friday, Ricky Thornton Jr., Davenport, Moran, and O'Neal will begin the fight for that Lucas 2025 championship. 2 nights at Brownstown, 2 at PA Motor Speedway, and 2 at Eldora for the Dirt Track World Championship will decide it. RTJ leads JD by 70 points in the reset standings, while Moran and O'Neal are 10 behind Davenport, tied for third effectively. That 70-point lead could be key for RTJ's chances of a repeat. I have a bunch of notes on rumors and things that were going around at Knoxville, and we'll unpack some of that in the coming days. The chatter, though, about changes with the 18D was really loud. All the talk centers around Dalton Wilson being out and Josh Rice being in that car for next year. We'd obviously talked about all of this stuff last week. Something else to keep an eye on for 2026 is what happens with the Dirt Track World Championship. Eldora, back about 11 days ago, announced their 2026 major event dates with the Dream, the Joker's Jackpot and Kings Royal, and World on there. Not included was the DTWC. That event, along with the Hillbilly 100, are controlled by Carl Short, and the future locations of both events are supposedly not yet decided. I've heard Lernerville wants the Hillbilly back, but that other tracks have inquired, including Mansfield. We'll see if Levi Jones and Eldora make a deal to bring back the DTWC. Sticking with Eldora, we had the 4 Crown there this weekend. Hayden Reinbold grabbed his first career USAC midget win back on Thursday, going from 6th to the win. Impressive win with how wild those midget races are at Eldora. Briggs Danner also winning on Thursday, picking up his 4th USAC sprint car win of the season. He battled with Kevin Thomas Jr. for that one. And I wanted to mention those 2 winners right away because with everything else kind of going on outside of the high limit races, everything else at Eldora was won by Daison Pursley. He took the Great Lakes Super Sprint win with the wing on. He took the USAC Sprint Car win, Silver Crown, and midget wins all last night. The 2 Sprint Car scores and the midget win came with Chad Boat, and the Silver Crown race was won with Daison. Pursley joins Jack Hewitt, Kyle Larson, and Logan Seavey as the only drivers to win 3 USAC features on a single night at the 4 Crown. We did have a champion crown as well, as a 4th place finish in that Silver Crown feature secured Justin Grant his 2nd career series title. Not bad for a guy still who has a busted foot. As Sprint Car silly season continues, Pursley's name is starting to bubble up as a potential ride candidate. One interesting possibility that I've seen floated for him could be the Stenhouse Junior Marshall team that is looking for a replacement for Sheldon Hodenshield. We've certainly seen Pursley wear those NOS colors before, so keep an eye on that one. If Chad Boat wanted to push for a full wing season, his organization could be a possibility as well. With the high limit series at Eldora, two of our championship contenders split wins, with Aaron Reitzel getting by Rico Abreu late on Friday, and Rico returning the favor to Reitzel on Saturday. Rico leads the series with 11 wins in 2025. Reitzel is second with 7, and just 7 races left to decide things, with Bridgeport and Path Valley up next. Rico leads the driver standings by 72 points now over Brad Sweet, and it's 28 between RAR and RSR in the owner standings. Since struggling in California, Rico has really come alive in recent weeks. In the last 12 high-limit races, he's got 5 wins, 8 top 5s, and 11 top 10s. He's also led laps in 7 races, including 4 straight. When it's mattered most year down the stretch, these guys have really risen to the occasion. I think Reitzel, though, will remain right in this fight here as well, all the way to Texas, and Brad Sweet hasn't been bad as of late. He's got 5 straight top 9s. One driver we didn't see, though, on Saturday night was Anthony Macri. The Concrete Kid had a nasty crash on Friday where he got into the wall and then was hit by Parker Price Miller. He told Flow Racing's Kyle McFadden that he had back pain and is going to get an MRI this week after sitting out Saturday night. His future schedule is TBD at the moment. Other weekend sprint car winners included Clinton Boyles and Ryan Newton in Power Eye action at the Hockett McMillan Memorial. How about Boyles, sprint car crew chief to sprint car race winning driver here this season? The WAR wins went to Riley Kreisel and JJ Yaley. Freddie Raymer took Williams Grove. Danny Dietrich won at Baps. Jason Martin and Matt Covington split ASCS wins, and Trey Starks won the finale and the championship at Skagit. Starks actually took both the 360 and 410 track titles there. And massive heartbreak last night for Austin Marcaro. He was leading the Jackson Nationals late with the IRA and NOSA, but lost a tire, I think down the backstretch on the last lap, faded to third at the checkered, while Ryan Timms went on to the win. Just a brutal way to lose it for Marcaro. Another weekend dirt late model action, Trey Mills bagged the $20,000 with the Comp Cam Super Dirt Series at Magnolia. That was a strong field of cars for Mills to end up beating there. Tanner English was a Mars winner. Chris Ferguson won with the Carolina Clash. Corey Hedgecock topped the Southern Thunder Series. And Kyle Hardy and Tyler Carpenter were $10,000 winners. And at Albany, Saratoga, Matt Shepard was a Super Dirt Car Series winner. He topped Jimmy Phelps, who grabbed the final locked-in spot for the feature at Super Dirt Week. That's all for the show today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.